Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all my blessed beloveds out there in video land. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rusty, and I am Rusty. It is a terrifically beautiful day here in Southern Florida, and I'm uber excited about today's guest, Dawn Todd. She is joining us in just a second, but she's going to tell us who she is, what she does, and why she does what she does. She's got an ooey gooey on the inside, and we're about to find out. Are you in, Dawn?
I sure am.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm living the dream, as always. So what's new with you? What are we going to do today? Because I know that you've been on before, and we just had so much fun that I had to have you on again. So what do you want to do today?
I think we're going to talk about Akashic Records.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Is this, can you hear me okay and all that good stuff? Perfect. Yeah. How's your morning been so far?
You know, it's really an interesting life that I lead. I have 7 of you today to interview. I'm packing for a 12-day trip north to hang out in the mountains without any Wi-Fi and cell phone coverage, because it's really, you know how much that's needed for all of us to just detach from all this toxic stuff. And so I'm cleaning the car and packing the camping gear and making the doctor's appointments and, you know, just all that stuff.
All the stuff, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, can I pee now, please? Yeah. It's been busy.
Sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, I think we were going to talk about Akashic Records and just what that means. And I don't know how much time we have, but I was hoping maybe we could do like a short Akashic meditation. So maybe people listening in could jump into the records for themselves, and I thought that might be fun if you're down for that.
I'm down with it. We've got 25 minutes as always. And what state are you in? I forgot.
Colorado.
That's right. You're in beautiful Colorado. I've had back-to-back people from Colorado, and I'm like, I really think I need to go and visit. I hear it's so beautiful.
It is beautiful. You're always welcome to visit. So I have a little Airbnb here, so if you need a place to stay, let me know.
Awesome. I'll be camping in your front yard. All right. So Dish, what is an Akashic record and how does it impact my life?
So the Akashic Records are considered to be the place where all the stories of your soul are stored. And it's the place that, you know, all of your soul contracts, your agreements, all of the reasons that you're in relationship with people are written in a vibrational, energetic way. And that includes, if you're a business owner, that includes your business. And because just like our children, our business is in our Akashic Records. So for business owners, sometimes they're struggling to, you know, add clients, make money, all of that sort of thing. So we can look in the Akashic Records and see what's aligned with what they're really here to do, and also what's aligned with the intentions of the business itself. Because in, you know, I guess this theory is that even the business has a consciousness, even the business has a something that it wants to accomplish. So understanding what that is and how it relates to you as the guardian or keeper of the business can be really enlightening. And then on a personal level, anytime you've had a strong belief or a conviction or a declaration, whether it's in this life or a past or parallel life, it can sometimes roll through and affect this life, or, you know, now. So clearing those can really open up a lot of cool things.
So my warrior goddess mentality, where I feel like I'm Joan of Arc and I'm fighting for the rights of other people, is just something that's ingrained in my universal contract.
So I don't like the word just there, because I feel like it sort of negates it, and that's not what I'm implying at all. There's a difference between our body. Karma, I think, is really in the body. It's not necessarily soul karma, because at a soul level, we're perfect and divine and intelligent. We don't need to learn anything as a soul, right? But the body is in this learning experience. And so it's the karma in the body that we can move through with the Akashic Records. I'll tell you a quick story about this if that helps explain it. So I had a client come to me who was, she was probably 60, 62, and she was just about to retire. And her company did this big downsizing and she lost her job unexpectedly. It was pretty devastating. And so she wanted to do an Akashic reading to understand maybe what might be next and clear anything that could be standing in her way. So, you know, and the way that works is I get someone's date of birth and their name, and then you go through a process. We go into the Akashic Records. And I saw her as an herbal healer, an herbalist, and it's always hard to place the exact year that something's happening, but you can kind of look around and see what the building's like and what people are wearing. And this was, the buildings were all made out of stone. I would guess like 1500 maybe, European. And there was a big like stone house up on a knoll, up on a hill. She lived down in the village and she was an herbalist. And she had apprentices and she was preparing these herbal potions for the woman who lived in the big house on the hill who had been sick for quite some time. And she was sending her apprentices to deliver this healing concoction to the woman on the hill. And the woman was not getting better, wasn't getting better. So one day she goes to see her herself, and she realizes that her apprentices have been changing the formula and poisoning this woman. And as she's there at her bedside, and the woman dies. And instantly she has this understanding, like, she's like, oh my God. And they hung her for it. And when she died, her thought was, I am never going to be an herbalist again. I'm never doing this again. So I tell her this story. I've never met her, still have never met her. Don't have any idea what she looks like. And as I'm telling her this story, she starts crying and she says, you're never going to guess what's in my basement. And I said, no, I'm not. I have no idea. She said, I have boxes and boxes of books on herbs and herbalism. And she said, I buy these books and I'm too afraid to do anything with them. And she became an herbalist. So that kind of strong declaration, right? So, and I think what happens is, you know, we have it in that body. That declaration is this heartfelt, you know, desire, really, and it rolls up through our energy field. And then as a spirit, we kind of contain that in a little package, and then we take another body and it kind of rolls down over the body. So we sort of put on the suit of whatever we've learned before, which is why people have sometimes a lot of knowledge about certain topics, or they're really drawn to something because it's very familiar. They've done it before and they really deeply understand it. So I just thought it was interesting that, I mean, I couldn't make that up. I'd never even met her, right? So there's something really interesting that happens about what happens in the Akashic Records. And then we can clear that by going in and saying, let's let go of that declaration, which then frees us up to step into things that maybe are really, really important to us. Does that make sense?
When I think of the Akashic Record, I think of, I was always in the library as a kid. I loved the library and
Me
the
too.
Rolodex. I can't believe they took the Rolodex out, the whole system. But that's kind of how I think of the Akashic Record in my head. Is that?
That's kind of how I see it too. I often see it as like a big kind of a library-ish building, you know, and there's often doorkeepers or guardians of the door, and they open the door for me when I approach it. And then when I'm in there, I'll say, I'm here to, you know, may I please see this person's record? And we're looking for something very specific because it's a enormous energy database. It's kind of like Google in a way. You know, if you wanted to, you know, buy a new pair of red shoes and you started Googling paddle boards, because I went paddleboarding this morning, so that's top of mind. It would take you a long time to get from paddle boards to red shoes, right? So you want to have a clear idea of what it is you're looking for, or something very specific that you're looking for information about, because the quality of the information is dependent on the quality of the query or the question.
I was wondering why you were up so early. You were texting me early. I'm like, girl, you're
Yeah.
in mountain time. Aren't you sleeping? Get some shut eye.
You know what? I am so aware of the sun and the telluric currents when they pop up and start going in the morning. I like almost instantly wake up, and so I was like, I just will go paddleboarding and
I think that's awesome.
see the sun come up. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good morning. So.
I get up religiously anywhere between 2 and 4 every morning, and it's like,
is that a good time for you to meditate? Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you end up adjusting and wrapping your head around what you can do that's productive and healthy at that time. But it can be frustrating, because it would be nice to be out until 10 or 11 o'clock at night and go to a movie or something. But no, I'm
right.
good.
Yeah, that's some people's just not their schedule, right? Nope. So the other thing I want to say about Akashic Records is that scenario I just gave you, that is someone is doing it for you. Someone comes to you, you go into the Akashic Records on their behalf. And I think that's a powerful way to access the records, especially if you're looking for some piece of information that you have a lot of emotional charge about, because sometimes it's really hard to trust ourselves and get through that emotional charge and really get clarity. But I also think that the evolution of our species, I guess, that it's really important that people understand how to access their own records and not put that in the hands of someone who has to do it for you, right? The empowerment of being able to get into your own records, which we have access to all the time, and understand what we want to clear, and clear that for ourselves. Like, what's your thought about that?
I think both. I think that in the beginning, for any of this, you kind of need a little bit of hand holding until you get your feet pretty firm and solid and you feel confident. I think if you go into something like this not confident, you're just going to open up more stuff that you're just not ready to deal with. And you're
not ready to deal with, or you have some kind of energetic interference, right? Because it is really you're relying deeply on your intuition, and you want to make sure that you've got a solid foundation of your own intuition. And like I said, the thing you're inquiring about is not something that you have this huge emotional charge about, because that makes it very difficult to trust the information, right? So, but I also think it's super empowering to recognize you can go into your own records and not have to rely on someone else to be the expert. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would imagine there's like the beginner, middle, and more mastery of like with anything. But right now we're just talking about the beginner 101 level, maybe
right.
29.
Right.
So,
and I think,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I think too, for business owners that, when we're in the records and we're looking at things like, is this specific marketing campaign aligned with your intention, right? I think it's helpful to have someone else who doesn't, because with entrepreneurs, we love our stuff so much. It's our creation. We're so attached to it, at least I am. I don't know about you, but I think it's good to have someone else just take a peek if you want to dive into the business end of it. So.
For me personally, I allow the universe to drive. I've learned, because I'm so stubborn and I've missed so many opportunities. At this point, I know that I love what I do. And this gets me out of bed, and it gets me excited, and it just makes me feel giddy and childish and fun. But I also realize that what I put out there is not necessarily me, more so messaging from the universe.
Right. Right. And that's a great way to kind of hone in your sales and marketing message, and it's sometimes misalignment happens also with our collaborations, our collaborative partners, where maybe a partner like someone you've hired to work on your website, or someone that is writing copy for you, or your assistant or something like that, even though they're working for you, may not be 100% aligned with your message or the work that you're doing, you know, like, I mean, that happens. And for them, it's just a job. But for us as energetically sensitive entrepreneurs, we want to make sure that everything is aligned, because that allows the greatest amount of flow to happen.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
there has to be, you have to be really good and clear with your intention as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you hire the right people to help you with your work.
Right.
We are running out of granulars again. I can't believe it. The sand just goes.
Yes, I know. Here we go.
All right. So for the last few minutes, I know that you wanted to do a meditation, or do you want to talk a little bit more about how you set up yourself to go into the Akashic Records process? Either.
Let me talk a little bit about that. I don't want to start a process that we have to short circuit. And what I will do is I'll record a little meditation for any listeners who want to just download it and go into their own records. But basically what we're going to do is I'll take you through a process of invoking your angels in a really specific way, invoking the divine feminine in a very specific way, and then entering into the records with a really specific question that you want information about, and then being prepared to witness what's shown to you. So like you're saying, hey, I want to really let go of this anger I have with my mother, let's just say, right? And so the guides will show you something really specific that is impacting that belief that's still running for you. And then you can ask to have it released. And we release it in the energy as well as the body, because the body also holds those contracts. So yeah, I'll just do a little download and people can download if they want to do that.
Perfect.
So, awesome. I appreciate you revisiting this topic, because I feel like it's a very important topic for people to dive into and understand. So, and it can be super empowering.
I'm grateful that you took some extra time out to give us kind of a high level overview of what it is. I hear a lot about it and I'm curious just by nature. But I am a huge advocate. If you have any tools, tips, or tricks to make yourself better, to heal, to refocus, to realign, to get good with everything, I'm willing to try. And I love this idea of being able to go in and say, oh, I can fix that.
Yeah. And I don't know if I like the word fix. For me means that it is eliminated, maybe. And I don't want to challenge you. That's not my intention. But let's just say that if we go in and shift something, that we take the learning and we don't have to carry the experience of that with us. So, you know what I mean by that? Like, we take the learning with it and collapse the experience, so it's no longer resonating within us. So
anyway. I love it. You're the best, Dawn. I really appreciate all that you do. Thank you for coming back on. You're a sweetheart. And
thank you so much.
Now I'm even more curious. You kind of opened up Pandora's box.
Well, I'll do a little download for your listeners, and they can find it on that same link. I think you'll probably post that. So
yes, I will.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Bye, sweetheart.
Okay. See you later.
You're watching Living and Thriving with Rusty. And what did we learn today? We learned to shift, not fix. We learned to get up and get good and take some time out, I think is the real big one, is just taking some time out. Realizing that things can shift and you can make things better. A little meditation, check out the Akashic Records. I know that I'm going to probably pick up a book or two on my road trip to learn more about it. Know that you're loved, know that you're beautiful, and do something kind. It doesn't take much to be kind to somebody else. Smile, a joke. Oh, you look nice today. Just something simple. You can actually change the trajectory of somebody's life in seconds. And that's a good thing. Go out and do it. All right. Take care, guys. See you next time.